of like fun when I'm working. So I'm just like playing a quick game. Um, I know a bunch of y'all are mad that y'all can't be house husbands or housewives. I know it sucks. It must suck. But yeah, we can't play Warzone, so we got to get in the battlefield. Um, I don't know which is better, dude. Like it's too small. Guess we'll play. Really want to play the fucking 64. You know, 64 versus 64. But it doesn't have that, I guess. So I guess we'll just play Conquest. But I do want to say this. Um, Shout out to everybody that's out there. Is tuning in live. Here I am, your boy Eclipser, aka Capital Players, and that's what we do. You know, how long have I been a genius? I don't know. Since I ever picked up a controller of a fucking gaming system. Yes, sir. Guys, let me just like we know, right, that gamers are freaking geniuses, right? We know this, right? This is a fact. This is like a fact. Let me ask y'all a question. If it's not a fact, then how come every girl that ever told you not to that playing video games, what I mean, is for kids is an idiot? I mean, I mean you know what I'm saying? Every person that ever told you that video games suck, they are idiots, are they not? If they're not idiots, then would you want to be like them? Exactly. Exactly. I mean, of course, they struggle day to day too, paycheck to paycheck as well. They ain't not special. I mean, of course, they struggle day to day too. You and I both know paycheck as well. They ain't not special. I mean, of course, they struggle day to day too. You and I both know paycheck as well. They ain't not special. I mean, of course, they struggle day to day too. You and I both know paycheck as well. They ain't not special. I mean, of course, they struggle day to day too. You and I both know paycheck as well. There we go. All right. Excuse me. Wow. But yeah, just so you know, I mean, just so you can understand, right? That basically, um, you know, gamers is for smart people. Everybody knows that. Everybody know gamers are smart people, like nerds, right? Smart people. Who's not smart? People that hate video games. Duh. So anyway, just wanted to talk about a few things. Commentary is more important than I think the actual sound of the game. So I just wanted to say how, like, yeah, I just like working and starting this new like brand, Capital Players, very exciting stuff. And I just like to have that kind of you know, windful attitude, I guess. Not just windful attitude. You see, look, that's real. These things are real, dude. You see, it takes this game is smart, you know. Um. Anyway, I really hate how this is. Oh, shut up. Wow. Okay. Yeah. So, what was I gonna say? Never listen to haters. So yeah, I think video games are very important in a man's life. You know, hand-eye coordination, sort of strategy, reflexes, all comes into play, right? Motor skills, a bit, eh, all of it is important. I have like this like lag. It's just like really getting on my nerves. Wow. I remember when I was young. I What the hell? Pretty much wanted to be a gamer, like professionally. Yeah, I was thinking about like moving to California and like I don't know, starting YouTube. Like I was so what I wanted to do. Totally absurd. But the reason I thought it was possible is because I watched YouTube since YouTube came out. Yeah, I've watched YouTube since it came out. So pretty much I've seen people's whole careers start, run, and end on YouTube. I'm like from a really weird generation. But I was gonna what I was gonna say, right, is that hopefully somebody is how I'm gonna talk some finance right now, right? I'm gonna talk some finance. Um, Pretty much, bro. I really a lot of people don't notice this, but we live in such horrible times. We live in such like horrible times where people have you ever saw that notion or ever heard about this saying that goes weak people create hard times. You know what I'm saying? Well, let me put it to you like this: greedy people also create hard times. I mean, greedy people create fucking miserable times for everybody else, and like, you know, that's like on some level, right? It's just fucking evil. That's the only word I can describe it. But yeah, not only weak people, man. It's people are that are knowingly like creating bad times. Bro, what? You're like right there, dude. Like that's what I don't get. These guys don't know how to play. They don't know how to have your back. Can you guys hear me? I need a medic. I need a medic ASAP. Medic. Don't let me die, man. Need a medic. Yo, you just ran right past me. Okay. That's not cool, man. It's not cool. Anyway, so yeah, so rich people make poor people suffer as well. So we literally live in the times where it's unlike before, where people sort of had this idea of equality. We live in a place now that it's like the opposite. People are greedy than ever. You know what I mean? And they literally believe in inequality, uh, and economic inequality. You know what I mean? And nobody really questions this because nobody really cares to like ask or I'm not exactly sure why people don't I think that people are more happy and thinking that we can all like that they can make it instead of thinking like for the greater good. You understand what I'm saying? I think there's so much ego, so much racism, and so much things nowadays, and so much classism, and this all stems from witnessing people living extravagant lives and keeping up with the Joneses and whatnot, and it has like I think infiltrated pretty much every facet of life, including like dating, even with women and stuff. They base their whole dating stuff on this whole philosophy that some men aren't good enough because they don't have enough money, right? Which is like inherently racist, right? What's next? You're gonna blame, what I'm saying? Like it's just ridiculous. But it all stems from the fact that the economy has been let exist in such a way where all the bailouts, everything that's for the rich, what I'm saying? Like Donald Trump and everything like this, everything is made for the rich to get richer and the poor to stay poor. I mean, and so like we have this vast inequality disparity, right? That like you see in this country, it's reminiscent of like a third world country, like a third world country that has been toppled, and is run by an oligarchy or a banana republic. You know what I'm saying? Where the government owns the owns the crops or owns the means of production, but everybody else is a slave. I mean, like it's the disparity is sort of reminiscent like that. You know what I mean, the growth of income for the top percent of people has grown like 86 times over, right? While or 86%, while the lower class or the middle class, the working class people, like 6%. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous, dude. And even more than that, you know what I'm saying? It's the disparity. They have literally just think about the budget cuts, right? Think about Donald Trump. He literally bailed out the top 1 or 10% of people, right? And they own so much wealth that he actually thinks that that's like gonna help the economy because they produce jobs or whatever, whatever. But it's still minimum wage. You know what I mean? Still like, still bull crap. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, all of that stuff, right? And this happened in the last couple decades, and I just feel as though like has nobody really has acknowledged it like that. People don't think about it. People just think, well, that means I got to become rich, right? So if they think that they have to become rich, they don't think about how many people are poor. They just think it's a dog eat dog world, and I think that has like really opened up the the floodgates on egoism, et cetera, et cetera. You know what I mean? Like, I just feel as though that everything is just based off money now, and it's really just a dog eat dog world. I mean, and that's not. I mean, contrary to popular belief, bro, I know it's hard for people to understand this. It wasn't like this all the time. You know what I mean? They have just run on the efficiency that was created by the Depression in the 1930s, right, which was the worst economic decade of American history, but it led to the most innovation because people were like inventing stuff. People were trying, you know, it was a thing, you know, that so it's just like it's like um it's like the narrative of the top 10% supposedly counts for all of us. What you don't understand is that they might be doing well, right? Yeah, it's good for them with their budget cuts and all that. But you know, but their lives are fucking insane. You understand what I'm saying? Just look at hip hop, right? Hip hop was supposed to be for like, you know, the people, whatever. You know what I mean? That's the reason why I liked it. But like now these guys aren't like the guys from regular hip hop. Now they're in Bugattis and they're talking about richer, you know, they got Richard Mueller's, whatever watches. I mean, we're talking about this lavishness of people that is just insane, right? That's you don't understand how the top 10% of people live. It's such a disparity that it's insane. Like their lives are fucking ridiculous, and yet the majority of people are living paycheck to paycheck. You know what I mean? You see, that's what it's come to, and so the whole thing is that you know, the rich people have been able to take advantage of this, and you know, they have like literally, well, when you couple the fact, right, you have to add up the things that they do, right? Because you might not think it's a big deal, but let's just say one generation is rich. They send their kids to a private school rep or whatnot. They get the best education. They get the best things. The next generation, it keeps going on like that, right? So they're automatically also going to have higher earnings, higher income. You know what I mean? While you still struggling. You know what I mean? And like for generations, they are like, you know, is there the equivalence of you being stuck, you know, making your first boat, you know, rocket steam powered engine or whatever, while people are trying to build, already building a rocket ship to go to fucking Mars. You know what I mean? Like you're behind by so much. It's just not. It's just like not even fucking fair. You know what I mean? And it happens through more generations. You know what I mean? Throughout generations, this happens. But this is just in America. I mean, I actually, you know people from third world countries from real poverty, and it's just like no, it's not even it's like you might as well be aliens. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just a whole different fucking crazy. But economically speaking, like I said, the disparity, you know, there used to be equality in this country or a semblance of it. Now all of that is like gone, you know, pretty much. Because these people have 86 times your income. I mean, no matter what you make, you know, you make 80,000, they make 900,000. You know what I mean? And so it's just insane. And you know, they're your neighbor or they're somebody that you want to be like. So that's why. So then you know you get. So what do? You want the car that he drives. You want the lifestyle that he has. So as a man, right, you kind of need that shit. So what do, right? You take out a loan, right? You get in debt. And the problem with that, right, is that during the 50s, that would have been perfectly normal because during the 50s, that's what helped the economy. During the 40s, the 50s, 60s, getting into debt was the way to go. You know what I mean? That's how people had their suburban houses. That's how everybody was. That's how the economy was saved by credit and by debt. I mean, but nowadays, you know, like I said, your income hasn't risen. The top 1%'s income has risen 86 times over. I mean, like 86 times, right? 86%. Yours 6%, right? And on top of that, the rates are fucking abysmal. You know what I mean? And not to mention, like, you know, inflation and all that other shit. You know what I mean? So you're pretty much fucked, like dead in the water. And yet these people's lives are 86 times fucking better than they ever were. You know what I mean? They're just it's 86, 100 times, whatever. You know, they're fucking making money out the wazoo, and yet, you know, just for generations they have this shit. You know what I mean? And it's so insane. But like I said, just take a look at fucking hip hop and whatever. The best MCs that made hip hop, my nigga, they still had to fucking rap outside, you know, on the corners. They still had to go to shows. You know what I mean? Even people before the internet had to go to shows, which is what mainly influences the rich now. You know, that's why y'all got to keep up with the Kardashians or the Joneses. You know, keep up with the Joneses, you know, and whatever, and you know, keep up with the whatever. Like that's what y'all like. They're insanely rich, right? So like that's why y'all that's the symptom that y'all get That's why y'all are all racist, like women. I mean, women are racist because they're like, oh, you're poor, or, whatever, whatever, whatever. That's the symptom that they get, right? It's unrealistic, but it's not even. It's just worse. It's worse than that. Not just unrealistic. It's pretty much like racist, and it's a egotistical philosophy, right? That people have had here in this country for so long that have let it get so out of hand. You know what I mean? And they don't ask themselves if this is benefiting the greater good. It's not benefiting the greater good. You know what I mean? That's not a surprise. Most people are fucking broke and suffering, while supposedly the top 1%, who do not speak for all of us, are living lives that we can't even fucking imagine. I mean, that we can't even fucking imagine, and yet the greater good is fucked. I mean, the greater good is screwed, right? You see, that's what's going on, and basically, right? When we start talking about this stuff, the best MCs, they get recognition, but they didn't have a fucking Bugatti, my nigga. Like, what the fuck? I mean, just when did rappers start getting Bugattis and fucking AP watches and shit? That shit was unheard of even for the best MCs. You know what I mean? That shit was like some type of wealth that was unheard of even for the best MCs. Then you get the new digital platformers that are keeping up with the Joneses, and these little niggas don't even got skills, and yet they get paid like they get paid with fucking Bugattis and shit. Like, what the fuck, son? You know what I mean? Like, that shit is crazy as fuck. You know what I mean? Like, this new generation is totally absurd, bro. Totally fucking absurd. And it's because of that. Because of the keeping up with the Joneses symptom and the disparity and all that shit, and the culture behind it, And it's just so ridiculous, bro, in this country. But the reality, the thing I really wanted to shed a light on is that while y'all are all keeping up with the Joneses, that's how you judge people with how much money they got. The majority of Americans are suffering. So like this ideology is fucking fucked up. You know what I mean? This whole thing is messed up. And I start thinking about the 1940s and 50s where people used to be equally. They used to be equal. You know what I mean? They didn't have the disparity like how they have it now. Things used to be better. People used to be more. They used to watch the same programming, right? The same TV shows. They used to have the same kind of heating HVAC in their house. The cars were a little different. They used to have the same fashion. They were on the same page. They were synchronized in the same sort of culture. You know what I mean? Even no matter if they were rich or poor, And nowadays that's not what's going on. And nowadays it's just keeping up with the bullshit, you know what I mean? Fucking bullshit, And I don't know, I wanted to speak on that because it's like I wish we could go back on some level, like if we could if people understood, right? Especially even in dating, even if women would just grasp the concept that some people believe in the system because they want to help the greater good. And then there's some people that, unfortunately, this system works for people that are egotistical and only care about themselves and a dog-eat-dog world. You know what I mean? Take, crush, let everybody else go fucking die. You know what I mean? They don't care about the people, the greater good. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? That's why people like Andrew Tate, every rich person you see out there, they believe in the philosophy like that of the dog-eat-dog world, And it's like none of these people care about the greater good of people. They don't care about the million people suffering, that are homeless, that are living paycheck to paycheck, that do their job but can't afford shit. You know what I mean? That we're the reasons that there's way more of us, by the way. There's way more of the middle class. We're the reason that these people are rich. I mean, in the first place. Like, we're the ones that stimulate the economy. We are the country, right? But yet they take the lifestyle of the top 1%, top 10% of people, and they try to narrate and say that this is the best of all the people. And that's not that's not all the people. That's not even half the people. The majority of people will never see that type of wealth. You understand? But the thing that I'm trying to get at is not to try to make you be like, oh, the thing that I'm trying to do is just like, I'm not trying to change you because I believe that people can be better. That's true. But I honestly don't believe that everybody has to be a rich person and a heartless, soulless, materialistic, you know what I'm saying, cannibal, you know, savage, in order to, you know, be happy. I mean, like these American psychopaths, you know what I mean, they only care about money. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to be a fucking douchebag piece of shit. I mean, so I don't freaking say that, you know what I mean? You don't have to be like Andrew Tate, you know, a douchebag. You know what I mean? That at the end of the day, he validates women's opinions, and he's like, oh, you know, they fuck with me because I got money. So in order for you, I guess the only thing you need to do is get money. You know what I mean? And do this and do that, and do the other. I mean, it's like, no, you like it's like you believe in that dog eat dog world. You don't care for the greater good, you know, sort of shit. You know what I mean? So I'm not trying to tell people that they need to become any type of way. What I'm trying to say is that I hate that philosophy. That is not because I don't think it's American. Like I think it's more like it's more like an oligarchy. It's like it leads to like an oligarchical, you know, type of fucking reasoning. You know, bureaucrats. You know that's what's led to these lobbyists. You know, bureaucrats that try to, you know, dictate political. You know what I'm saying, process. You know what I'm saying, political. Shit. What's the name of it? Political rhetoric, political process, political reform, or whatever. You know, these bureaucrats. You know. Like you know what I'm saying? Bill Gates, you know what I mean? What the fuck Bill Gates got to do with politics? Nothing. You know what I'm saying? Nothing. But you know, but we already know that that you know the feds have control of the economy. The economy is actually what being controlled by like what the government and shit, and not every and most politics. That's what they get. That's what they care about is the economy. So it's literally dictating sort of politics, sort of shit. I mean, like you know, bureaucrats like Hillary Clinton. No, like what's his name? That guy that y'all say that he's evil. Fucking conspiracy theorist time. Forgot his name. It's some type of Jew guy that was an investor. You know, like all these investors, all these investors and stuff like this. These guys that made like money, billions. You know what I mean? And you know, they have a say and like they try to like, you know, dictate. They try to influence politics. You know, Bukele from El Salvador, when he was fixing his country after analysts and specialists and people all around the world, the greatest minds supposedly from Europe and all this places from the America said that it couldn't be done, that El Salvador couldn't get excuse me, couldn't get fixed, and they couldn't solve the crime problem because it was the world's deadliest city in 2020. You understand? At the same time that Trump deported people back there, you know, because he's a racist, so he deported them back to their death. Anyway, but the point is that even after these analysts said that it couldn't be done, Bukele proved them wrong. One of the things that one of the people that was trying to go to Bukele, trying to go to Salvador and trying to invest in Salvador, was that guy that I keep I keep forgetting his name. It's just like Jew motherfucker. Shit, what is his name? That people think he's one of the most evil men in America. I mean,